Worst that happens is I have a stroke on stream, Jack.
Well, if you do that, we can't shut the stream down, so it'll just be you going "Ugh!" out of the side of your mouth.
And that's a good thing. I need to do a shit ton of streams. We just had major car repairs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we start hearing this ticking. And so we take it in and they fix it. I'm using air quotes. And we get it back. And that tick is gone, but there's a tick now. And so we take it back in. And yeah. Monkey has to be on air for the next 30 days straight. Fuck.
We're doing 2 a days.
We're doing 8 a days, man. We get,
fair enough.
We'll get an hour break in between them. Anyway, guys,
long enough to pee and nap.
This is Monkey in the Morning. Not necessarily, because depends on how long I need to pee.
I only sleep for like an hour. So
this is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkey's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm all right.
I'm here and happy, so that's what's important. So we're gonna leave it at that. Jack, you and I, we're amazing people.
I know we are. That's just science.
We did some really good work yesterday, and scientific proof that you and I make the world a better place.
That's true. I mean, without us, there would be less light in the darkness. That's what I tell everybody anyway.
The Jaguar story yesterday was supposed to just be a short little thing because it was actually an afterthought. Because I was just going through my Twitter, like, what else do I have? Oh, yeah, the Jaguar thing. So we started talking about that, and we get on to Cracker Barrel. And what happened last night? They reversed their dumbass decision to change their logo.
Yeah, see, I've discovered that when you sleep, bad shit happens. Unless we talked about it before you slept, then it's usually not as bad as it could have been.
And sometimes it's actually good. So today we need to talk about me winning the lottery before I go to sleep.
Yeah. Powerball numbers come to me. We fixed Cracker Barrel. I mean, that's obvious that we did that. Yeah.
Although I do have to say that as far as I've seen, it's only the logo they're changing. The nonsense that they're doing inside the restaurants is still going on.
Quite likely, yes. But the logo is a huge win. So
it is.
You take your wins where you can get them. That's, I think, more massive because that one they were going for was so bland and uninspired and forgettable. It was just dumb.
And looking at the interior, they're still doing the bland and uninspired inside.
Yeah, but at least it's not as much of a turnoff.
Sure.
So I think they might start slowly backtracking on the other stuff too when they see that people complain about it.
But I wanted to talk about this, not just because, we won, but we beat the Crackers, man.
We beat the Crackers out of the barrel.
Monkey beat the Cracker. Anyway, I have a feeling, a notion that the CEO of Cracker Barrel should probably be brought up on SEC charges.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Do you remember what she did when the stock price started plummeting over this shit?
Started screaming at the audience like a heartbeat?
No. She went to different media sources and told them most of the feedback that they were getting was positive.
That's a lie.
That is absolutely a lie of a publicly traded company.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is a SEC violation. She lied publicly about the state of the business.
And that was to control the downfall of the stock. So that could actually, you're right. That could be
to influence the stock price. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
her
criminal.
Mind, she's staunching the bleeding, but in the SEC's mind, that's a criminal offense.
Yeah, and if she had come out and said that they'd gotten a lot of positive feedback or they got mixed reactions, some of it was actually good, that would be fine. But by saying the overwhelming majority of it is positive, that's a flat out lie. Did you see anyone, literally anyone, say that the new Cracker Barrel thing looked good?
No. No,
It
and that really surprised me, quite honestly.
it united the internet in what the fuck are you doing? I saw what was the story we were talking about the other day? The fight, Stu Smith and Raja, that whole fight.
Oh yeah.
Even that had some people on the degenerate side.
Yeah.
Even that had some people going, I mean, he did get hit with the can first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
Not one goddamn person was like, I like the new Cracker Barrel sign.
I didn't see anybody like it, no.
So, I mean, maybe she'd only seen two people and they were both her reflection. But otherwise, she flat out lied. And yeah, that you can't do that. You can't do that, lady. I know you got problematic glasses on and everything, but you still can't violate federal trade laws. And lying publicly about the state of your company, especially to increase your stock price, is that's a no-no.
That's a big old no-no.
It's a big no-no. So hopefully somebody looks into that, and at the very least, she steps down to avoid charges. I'm just saying. Because she's not good at her job, and she broke federal law. There's not a lot more to say about Cracker Barrel that we haven't said before. However, I did want to take a victory lap and point out that she's probably guilty of federal trade laws. Because it's funny to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair.
Nothing makes me happier than beating women on our show.
Yeah, like you do.
Like you do. Speaking of women, oh my God, I had the proudest dad moment yesterday. My wife announces in our group chat, the family group chat, that Taylor Lorenz and Travis Kelce are getting married. And my daughter's reaction was straight out of her dad, man. It was because she hates Taylor Swift. She thinks she's a bad role model for girls. And she just ripped into it. And I had that proud, that's my girl moment. This is why my daughter doesn't fall for the pumpkin spice. It's in her blood to reject that shit.
Good. I told you she's got some immunity from you.
Yep. Oh, Taylor Swift, not Taylor Lorenz. Yeah, Taylor Lorenz we'll talk about later. I'm sorry, Taylor Swift. There
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Sad, bitter harpy. Yeah, 50-50 on that one. But
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married. The couple has lasted, 2 football seasons? So good on them. Look, I hope they're happy. I really do.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't care.
I hope they're very happy people and have a long marriage and lots of kids or whatever. I just don't give a shit.
I'm going to be honest. I hope she doesn't breed. Because, look, she's in the music industry and she's basically been there since she was a teen. And that kid's going to come out trans, I promise.
That kid will probably be kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I had to hear all about it today from the comic shop guy because I went to the comic shop to visit with one of the guys lost a parent recently. And
I missed all of that. It kicked me out. I'm sorry.
I had to hear all about the Taylor Swift stuff because I went to the comic shop and the comic shop guy's a huge Taylor Swift fan. And I went in to talk to one of the guys who lost a parent. So he's like, "Did you hear the sad news?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, did that dude's other parent die?"
Oh.
I was like, "No." He's like, "She said yes." And I was like, "Okay." "Oh, you mean Taylor Swift?" "Of course you do. What am I talking about?" And he's like, yeah. I was like, "She's going to get a double album if they break up." And he's like, "You shut your whore mouth."
Okay, we have a birthday for Rebel, Jack. She's 5. And this is for you, Rebel. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rebel. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rebel. I hope you have a good one, sweetie. And I love the name. I don't know if that's the real name or if that's a nom de internet. but I love it
Up to internet.
because I'm a rebel at heart myself, so I identify. And I hope you're encouraging a little rebellion. Not too much rebellion in her, but a little rebellion in her, because that's good for kids. They need to test boundaries and stuff, Jack.
That's what the kids tell me.
Oh, man, I look back at my childhood and stuff, and I'm just me, so that's how you're supposed to be. But and then I realized that most kids were actually good kids and listen to their parents and shit, and I'm like, y'all are boring as shit. Didn't you have any fun as a child? God
They
damn.
just didn't get caught, dude. I was one of those kids. I rarely did anything wrong. And when I did, I almost always got fucking caught. And I'm not stupid. I'm a pretty crafty individual, I like to think. But I have terrible luck when it comes to doing anything wrong, mechanically inclined, or anything that would guarantee my survival. Bad things just happen on those circumstances. So, yeah, I always got caught. There were a couple times I didn't, but that was usually because of other people, like, screwing up, not me.
I never got, well, I don't want to say I never got caught. The worst shit I did, I never got caught. That is her name, and she lives up to it. Well, that's your fault. I do tell parents this. Be careful what you name your children. I don't think that my personality is an accident. I've been called Frank since I was like literally born, although I was called Frank E at the time. And I have a very frank personality. And it's been my experience that most people, if you give them a name like that, then they kind of live up to it. Just saying.
Fair.
Anyway, Cracker Barrel caved. I also pulled up this story to talk about it. One, because I had a good picture of the logo, and then I didn't have to do more work. But two, remember, you want to know the easiest way to do something? Ask your laziest friend. Two, it's from the BBC, and it amuses the shit out of me that a American company's logo change is international news.
Yeah, it made a lot of headlines. And the fact that they backed down is news too.
It's a publicly traded company, so it makes sense that it could have an international impact and everything. But them backing down being international news is funny as fuck to me. It's like there's nothing.
They caved in.
There's nothing else that's more important. All right, Jack, this next one we're actually watching because of you.
Uh-oh.
And I have not watched it all. I've actually only watched a couple of minutes of it. and actually that's
my fault somehow.
I've seen part of the clip that you posted, and that made me go out and find the full clip.
Sucker.
And I said I've watched a couple of minutes of it. That's a bit of an exaggeration. I've probably seen 20 seconds of it.
Oh yeah.
But Chicago doesn't want a military occupation, says Mayor Johnson. We were talking about Chicago yesterday and how you have the same shit that went on in DC. Like, no, how dare you call it a shithole just because we have like one of the highest murder rates in the whole country.
Right? It's fucking dumb.
It's perfectly safe as long as you don't go to 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
There was actually an article from the DC time where an unnamed resident was like, Trump is wrong about all of this. I mean, we have a huge crime problem, but don't tell him.
We don't want him to fix it.
And we're seeing literally that exact same nonsense coming out of Chicago now.
Yeah. It's funny watching Raskin try and dance around this.
Oh, do you have a Raskin clip on this?
Yeah. Hold on, I'll find it for you. But yeah,
Please
he was just like, crime's normal. It wasn't exciting or anything. He didn't say anything exceptionally stupid. He was just trying to dance around the fact that Trump is actually fighting crime.
Well, that's dumb enough to be the no. I saw a thing today, and maybe I'll pull it up later when I'm going through my Twitter trying to figure out what else to talk about. But it was a dude. I forget who it was. You'll know the name if I said it and I could remember it. But he's like, God, what's his name? Hard something. Fuck. Anyway, he used to work on CNN. He was on MSNBC for a little while too. But he said to all of those people out there who voted for Trump in the election, you can't look at things now and say that Kamala would have been more dangerous. I'm paraphrasing, but the gist is there. He's bitching that things are more dangerous because crime has been cleaned up in DC.
I don't get that at all. That is fucking dumb.
And it was absolutely, reading it was just like, okay, if Kamala had won, would DC have been cleaned up? No.
It would probably get more dangerous because they'd keep letting the illegals flood in and you'd have a lot more gang members.
John Harwood, that's his name. He says, all those morons who looked at the two candidates last fall and decided Kamala Harris was the dangerous choice for America ought to recognize by now that they're morons because Trump cleaned up crime in D.C. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Oh, yeah. Did you see George Conway?
Yes, we're going to watch that clip later.
Oh, okay, good, because I threw it in the side chat if you didn't have it.
Oh, cool.
But that first link is Raskin.
All right, so again, I haven't watched this. I don't know if we're going to watch all 16 minutes of it. Should we jump up to where he's talking to Joe Scarborough?
It's up to you. I don't care.
Let's do that because that's where the at least the part that made it onto Twitter comes in. All right.
To drive violence down across this country.
And what programs would you want funded? What specifically do you consider to be violence prevention programs?
Million be used for?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have been working with community violence intervention workers, or
violence what the guardian angels?
No, a bunch of social workers. This is the mayor talking.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, we're working with like community guys. What, are you funneling money into the drug dealers so that they won't go kill each other? What are you talking about?
No, it's not so they don't go kill each other. It's just to funnel money to them so they'll give it back to them later.
They'll give him a powdery substance in return. He's paying his dealer off.
This is the kind of shit we saw from Bowser, was that her name, out there in DC, where she's like, give me control of the National Guard. They want all of the, like, he wants apparently $800 million. Yeah, sure.
Well, they'll take the money and the power, but they don't actually want to fix anything.
No, because fixing things doesn't fix things for them. It actually makes his job harder because he has to give you a different reason to vote for him.
Yep.
CVI. These are community-led organizations that are spending time on the ground in the neighborhoods, working to squash conflict.
How's that going for Chicago right now?
Yeah, it's spectacular, right? Crime is down in his neighborhood.
And crime is almost non-existent because of the random people going to talk to other random people
who may or may not actually be involved in the current issues. Yeah, it makes total sense.
A lot of the violence in Chicago is gang related, but a lot of it is just random violence. You're not going to fix that by having a social worker walking down the street going, hey, Timmy, put that gun away.
Don't make me ask you politely again. What's wrong with this head shape? He has a criminal head shape, Katie. That's what's wrong.
I don't know what it is about his head that bothers me, but there is something.
It looks like it's pointed, like a Zippy the Pinhead kind of thing.
Is that it?
I think so, but it's the way his hair is cut. That's not normal otherwise, unless he is a pinhead.
Look,
can we call him that still, or is that
I have no idea if we're allowed to or not.
Yeah, it doesn't come up very often because there's not a lot of pinheads out there.
It's something about his facial hair too, because like I know a lot of black guys will do that thin pencil mustache thing,
Yeah,
but it only works for about half of them.
very true.
And I wish that my white beard, I wish I had black skin for my white beard to stand out, because a nicely groomed white beard on a black guy looks very distinguished.
Yeah, but his is obviously he colors his facial hair, because your beard doesn't just have gray hair on your chin like that. Trust me, I look in the mirror daily. You might have more there, but it just looks like he dyes the sides of it.
It's also not symmetrical. It's shorter on the left side here than on the right side.
That's why I think he dyes it, because it looks unnatural to have a solid dark on the sides. It should be a little like salt and peppered.
Now, some of you might be watching this going, are they really judging this man's? Yes, fuck off.
Yeah, that's what we do. Every frame of pause are a bunch of pussies. No, I think that the gray in the beard draws attention to it, because your eyes are drawn to the stark contrast against the black on the sides. Yeah. But it makes his face look elongated, which makes his head look elongated.
Real quick, Cryptic, thank you. How are you worse than Beetlejuice? Well, because it's like compound interest, but compound stupidity. The longer Democrats run that city, the dumber they get. Beard review with Ranting Monkey. Look, I will judge people. This is why anytime we get shit about, judging how women look, like, fuck you, I'm just as hard on men.
Yeah. And look, sometimes when you see somebody, there's something off about them, but you can't place it. And you don't want to sound like you're a bad person. So you have to let us do it, so we can point out what's wrong with these people. So you can be like, oh my God, it's not just me. And they're right.
He's also got, those glasses are not good for him.
They're not working. No, they stick out too much. He needs like darker frames.
His eyebrows look like he's being very expressive at the moment, and this guy's never expressive. He is the personification of Xanax.
Yeah, that's true. Now, to be fair, some of this could be the makeup job that they did on him. But I think he dyes his beard and probably his eyebrows and the hair on his head, too. What's left of it.
The reason I can't just say makeup is because I've seen him when he's just giving normal talks, and there's just something weird looking about him.
I think it's because he dyes his hair, and not just the hair on his head, but his eyebrows and the sides of his face, too. It just looks unnatural because people don't gray like that. It's like Mr. Fantastic with the white sides. You're going to have some sprinkled in on top, too. Your sides tend to go first. I don't have much left, so I don't know about the top. But it just looks unnatural to have that much solid dark and just the one patch of white. Unless he was spooked as a child and that trauma gave him white hair.
Pointy dome cut, that doesn't help either, but that might just be the shape of his head.
I think it's the cut, because that is receding hairline, because like he's got a big forehead. That's got to be a receding hairline.
Maybe. Anyway, we should probably get back to the top. We'll stop judging you, sir. Your suit looks nice, although your tie is crooked.
I'm going to keep judging him. Fuck that.
Well, I meant on just his looks. We have other things to judge him for. You can still judge him for that, but we're going to move on verbally.
Oh, yeah. We're going to judge him on other things.
Rhetorically. Yes.
Yeah.
Straighten up your tie, man. You're on TV.
I would respect him more if he ripped that tie off, opened his shirt up, and was like, I'm going to wrestle anyone that comes over here.
Retaliation from occurring. Look, I live on the west side of Chicago. It's the Austin neighborhood, one of the most dynamic communities in the entire city, but it has been mired in disinvestment. I'm likely the first mayor in the history of Chicago to wake up in one of the most difficult, challenging communities. And that's why.
Yeah, sure, dude.
Okay, I don't know enough about him to call total bullshit on this, but you're not living in the ghetto, man.
No.
Did you hear his terminology? The most divested. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is crime has forced out businesses around. But don't worry, there's no crime problem. You live in a place where businesses won't come, and you're like, we don't need the crime's fine.
And he's on the edge of that area. He's not in that area.
Yeah.
And the South Side is where most of the shootings happen.
He might have a home there, but he lives in the Hyatt,
Right? Like that dude he's got a big manor place with a lot of security. Real quick, think of all potato. Disturbing amount of black people in America have that weird hair and beards that are extremely shaped and look like they're just drawn on. It looks so unnatural. Yeah, I call that the LL Cool J look. It's usually that man. Like pencil thin thing. A lot of it is.
I get the pencil. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that. And weird hair. There's only so much you could do with your hair to begin with on anybody. Look, but black people have a particularly difficult time with like stylistic choices because there's not a lot. I mean, it's very curly. It's hard to do much.
No, I think black people need to embrace their hair more because that shit is like a bonsai tree. You can trim that shit to look like anything. And if you did that, like if he came out here with like a shark on his head, that'd be fucking cool.
That would be cool. But
instead he comes out with just a little tiny point. At least have a shark fin. You want to have a pointy head, get a shark fin. You can do that with your hair.
That could be the black version of a mohawk.
Yes.
And that would be fucking awesome. So black people, get on that. Hire a really good garden sculptor and have him go to town. Like grow your fro out
here
and let them just work their artistic magic.
The next time your illegal Mexican is out there trimming your trees, dude, have him do your hair too.
Yeah, clippers are just smaller hedge trimmers. So
I'm not kidding, man. If I had black hair, my hair would always have something interesting in it because they can do that. We can't. If we carve something into the back of our head, it just looks like the barber messed up.
Yeah, it sort of looks like the barber had a seizure.
Yeah,
it's gonna grow really weird and patchy. So you're gonna look like your epileptic grandma did it.
Black men embrace that shit,
but they don't anymore. In the 80s and 90s, they did.
Yes,
but now it's restricted to really short, a little bit of a crop, and then full on afro. They don't go middle ground like Kid from Kid and Play, where he had like the straight up hair,
the high top.
Yeah, the high top. Based on what that was called. But they don't really do that anymore. They don't make that effort. So you only see like 3 variety, and it's really sad.
Yeah, you guys they always talk in black communities, good hair is like, oh, that's white people hair. No, man, you can do so much with afro that we can't. Y'all need to embrace it.
I see Mike said conehead. I would take that one step further and make it look like a drill bit and put silver highlights so it looks like a drill. You could get a cool street name for that. I mean, you look like a Mega Man villain.
The only hair I have that isn't silver are my pubes.
Give it time.
Pubic hair does eventually turn colors, I heard. Mine is still its natural shade, but I'm waiting.
All right. My stepson had a massive fro, looked like a mushroom. Yeah, I've heard that's kind of hard to keep up, but there's nothing wrong with the fro. I don't really care what people do with their hair. Sometimes it looks silly, but some people can rock it. That chick that played Domino in the Deadpool movie, Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
She pulled off a fro pretty well.
Yeah. All right.
Devo hat, nice.
Are we investing in CVI or our community violence intervention workers? We're also investing in youth employment. This summer alone, we hired 31,119 young people. And in the neighborhoods where youth employment was the highest, we saw the most significant decline in violence. He also can help.
It's almost like if you have a job, you you don't have time to go doing crime. I am curious about the stats he uses there, because we do know there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. Statistics don't lie, but the people who use them often do.
Yeah. Well, people manipulate things to their own personal advantage.
Yeah.
Support mental and behavioral health care services. I've reopened the 3 mental health clinics. We've expanded mental health crises workers all over the city so that when mental health crises occurs, a police officer doesn't have to show up to that scene. But we have a trained.
I just want to point out that statistically, using statistics here, what's been happening in these places where they're like, we're going to send in psychologists when they end up having to call the police because they're dealing with severely broken people, and sending in a skinny little white woman like, I'm going to fix you, isn't going to help.
If somebody's calling the cops on a mental health crisis, that means somebody is terrified for their own safety or the safety of others.
Yeah.
So that's usually a police matter. Sending in a shrink is not going to fix that problem. These people have deep-rooted problems.
No.
Generally speaking, from what I've seen, a lot of them need to be institutionalized.
And that's the thing. You have to round them up, and then you take them to the counselor.
Yeah.
You don't wrangle them with the counselor.
Counselors aren't trained for that. I mean, it might be one or two ninja master counselors out there, but it's pretty rare.
Notice everything he has said is the bullshit we heard during Black Lives Matter on how things should be done.
Yep.
Like, we just get rid of the policing and crime goes away magically.
Oh, we're going to put the criminals and have them sit down and talk to the victims and work out their feelings.
I do need to correct one thing I said. He said everything he said, BLM said, that's not true. Because he said he got some people jobs, and nobody in BLM was like, we need jobs.
Nobody helped anybody get a job from BLM.
Nope. They just stole people's money.
Yeah.
Professional to be able to address these crises. The other thing that he can help us with is the federal government can help us with. I've revamped the entire detectives bureau within the city of Chicago. And now we have a clearance rate almost 77%. One of the deterrents of crime is to actually solve it, to bring closure, to bring justice.
Okay. I don't know this about Chicago. One, getting your, I don't know what the rate was. If it had been 78 and you got it to 77, that's not a win. But if the closure rate was 50% and now it's at 77%, great. That's a good thing. If you're not lying about your stats, which we saw in New York or in DC. Yeah. But closing the case, typically, Jack, the police do their investigation. It goes to the DA. The DA prosecutes. They get a conviction or not. Case closed. The DAs in Chicago are your Soros-funded DAs. So if you're, okay, Jamal is the one who broke into this house, and we caught him. We got him dead to rights, and we're going to give him 10 hours of community service, then you're not actually helping. Because it's not proportionate to the crime they did if you're giving him a slap on the hand for everything. And again, I don't know about Chicago. I know in LA they do this. I know in Seattle, Portland, they're doing this. I'm imagining they are in Chicago because it's a liberal-infested shithole.
Fact.
So he's not wrong that policing, which is what he's talking about there when he's... I like how instead of talking about policing, like, we revamp detectives, police, and they're closing things, arresting people. Notice he had to use the coded BLM language to not upset people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, arresting people for crime helps reduce crime. Duh.
What?
But you actually have to have a punishment for the crime. If you're just, how many times did we see people arrested during the riots? We're like, I've been arrested 50 times.
Oh, we're still seeing that with some of the people being arrested in D.C. right now.
Yeah. They're career criminals because they've never had an actual consequence. They go to jail for a night, and then they're let back on the street. Maybe they have to pay a fine. They didn't in Portland. They just like, fuck it, go home.
Yeah.
And these were committing violent acts. Closure rate, great. But not if that's all you did.
Well, it depends how they're closing the case too, because sometimes they're just like, well, we have a prime suspect, but we can't prove it. We're just going to close this one.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to talk about what closure rate really means. It depends. If he's just like, oh, we stopped investigating the case, that is different than what would typically be called a closed case.
Yeah, if they just move it to the cold case files, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you closed the case, but you didn't solve the crime.
Yeah.
Just a few examples that I know mayors across the country are calling for. This president in the
I do need to ask, our crime rate here is really low. Why should the federal government, my tax dollars, go to you to take care of your crime problem?
Because they're used to getting it.
But the federal government's not supposed to have any say in it. You just want my money to do it.
Yeah, that's how this works.
Huh.
They put their hand out, you put money in it, and then you just go along with it, or you're racist.
federal government has literally declared war on poor people.
The federal government literally has not declared war on poor people.
Unless you consider all poor people criminals.
Jesus Christ. He just pulled a Leafy.
Yeah.
They've literally declared war. Do you know what literally means?
Do you know what war means? I have a lot of questions.
Remember a time when presidents declared war on poverty. The federal government has a moral responsibility.
Wouldn't that be a war on poor people? Or are you suggesting rich people were in poverty? I'm so confused right now.
I don't know, dude. I have so many questions.
Ability to do onto the least of these. And that's what we're doing in the city of Chicago.
So let me ask you, Mr. Mayor, those all sound like great programs. I'm curious, would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Detectives, say detectives. He can't say more police because, well, they've kind of boxed themselves in. All cops are bastards.
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked.
He didn't ask you if that was your full. Don't make me defend Joe Scarborough, you fucking prick.
You have to defend Joe Scarborough.
He asked you, would you want 5,000 more police officers? He didn't ask you if only police was the answer, which, by the way, compared to sending social workers out to fight crime like Batman and Robin, yeah, police are the answer. You know what's known to drive down crime rates? Police patrols.
No.
Yes.
That's how they go to prison, monkey. That's the police to prison pipeline. Because police arrest people and take them to prison.
Wow, Joe's actually being reasonable again. Not on purpose.
Don't get used to it. There's still a dead intern involved. What?
Hey, she died when he was totally out of town.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
About the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone.
He didn't say policing alone, you dodgy question, fucker.
And did the addition of 3,000, that there were 900 murders? It's Chicago. Duh.
Yeah, there's that.
Did it help bring down crime at all? Because that's the question. It's working elsewhere. See, Joe is struggling right now with Democratic rhetoric because it wasn't that long ago that they told black people, police are going to kill you. We got to get rid of all the police. Don't pay attention to your neighbor killing you.
Right.
Because, police killings of armed or unarmed black people a year was like less than 200 nationwide. But the number of black on black killings, well over 2,000. Same with whites, well over 2,000. But like, it's all the police that are the problem. Really? You're 10 times more likely to be shot by your neighbor than a cop, but the cops are the problem.
Yep.
And that's what the statistics come down to because all races kill their own race more than any other race.
Yeah, because they tend to live around.
Because they live around them, yes. It's why you're more likely to be killed by somebody you know than by a stranger, because you live with them and they have access to kill you.
Yeah. And they probably had to put up with your bullshit. I mean, nothing.
They're the ones that have interactions with you. But so Joe is living in a world where they've made the police the ultimate enemy, and he was part of this. He was all on board with the Black Lives Matter bullshit.
Yep.
But the unfortunate reality for Black Lives Matter is that the immediate effects of getting rid of police, it happens instantaneously. Like, hey, this place is no longer going to be patrolled by police. Guess where the criminals are going?
Yeah, they figured out pretty quick whenever the cops are moved around.
And we saw with all the police who were like, fuck it, I'm retiring. I'm not doing this shit anymore. And the lack of police caused an increase in crime. And the smart folks went, maybe we should, get police back.
We should reconsider this notion.
However, I'm sorry, let me just finish the point. They indoctrinated a whole generation now with policing is not the answer. So this asshole cannot embrace police. It would destroy his career.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Jack.
No, you're good. What I noticed was that this is a softball interview, right?
Sure.
They're on the same side, but the mayor is treating this as if it's a hostile interview.
Yeah.
And his defensiveness is forcing Scarborough to ask follow-up questions he doesn't want to ask. And it's creating this like slight antagonism there because the mayor's like, why didn't you just accept my non-answer? And he's just spewing more bullshit. And Scarborough's just trying to get him to answer one simple question.
Yes.
And it's making them both look like dumb shits.
All he had to do was say, yes, additional police would help. And he said, like, it's not just police, which literally nobody said.
Yeah. Yeah, he's creating straw mans to get out of saying that they need the police.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
I do love that Joe's like, yeah, but what about having more police like these other people? It's a yes or no question. And his answer is, the best way I can answer it is when I was a kid, there were 300 or 3,000 additional police and 900 murders. That's the best way you could answer a yes or no question?
Yeah. See my point? If he had just answered the question and moved on, Scarborough wouldn't have had to ask a follow-up. And then he's rambling about something when he was a kid. Nobody fucking cares about your childhood, dude. Write an autobiography.
Of course, we want more detectives.
I know.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, detectives.
Of course, we want more detectives, not police, you guys, because he cannot say police. It is against the Black Lives Matter code.
Yeah.
I got
policing
you,
alone,
Joe.
but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of?
The best way I can answer that is one time I was eating Snap, Crackle, and Pop said to me, "Go fuck yourself." And I learned then that anybody in a uniform is an asshole.
Because he was in a marching band.
Yeah. I was pretty proud of that one myself. Anyway,
You should be.
Let's see what his actual answer is. Although I think mine probably made more sense than whatever he's about to say.
I think so.
Chicago.
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, because that's related. Affordable housing. Yep.
Yeah, everybody knows when you put up ghettos, crime goes down.
Yeah. Especially if you put them in wealthy neighborhoods, right? That's how that works.
All that. Everybody knows the best parts of town, the most crime-free parts of town are where there's government-subsidized housing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With all those people with no jobs and all the free time on their hands.
Okay. For argument's sake, let's say that he's right. Cheaper housing with lower crime rates. Okay. You were specifically asked if adding more police would lower crime rates. Not what else could lower crime rates. Would this lower crime rates? It's a simple yes or no. But this little bitch can't answer that because he is a Black Lives Matter candidate.
Yep.
And they cannot in any way give credit to the police. He won't even say police. The little bitch keeps detectives. Yes, detectives. Jesus Christ.
Okay, but that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back?
Even without the other programs, this is still a yes or no. You're just confusing him now, Joe.
It seems to be easy to do.
Back into place, which do have a history of being successful.
No, they don't.
If that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joseph.
No, look, if he was smart, his answer would be, yes, a police state is always safer. And then he could do a cheap shot at Trump by calling him a dictator that way. But he's not that smart or quick on his feet, apparently.
Joe even said that time with his extended question, and he said it in one of the first 3 times he asked this. In addition to all of this.
Yes.
I don't think we should just narrow it down to that. Oh, this man is the mayor of a major city in the United States.
Yeah, and he's dumb as shit because he could give a politically correct answer to this by calling it a police state. But he won't do that because he's not smart. And he's obviously not very well media trained or probably incapable of being trained in the media like Kamala Harris was. Like Lori Lightfoot, for all her flaws, was much better at answering questions in a political manner. She would dodge occasionally, but at least she would give the PC answers.
Hoko, yeah, Democrats, it always reminds me of the South Park episode with the hippies where Stan and Kyle join the hippie group and they're going to overthrow things. And then, we'll have a guy who bakes stuff. Like, you mean a baker? No. And we'll have like one guy who keeps the peace. You mean like a cop? No, you don't get it.
You haven't been to college.
Yeah. Having community organized intervention in crime, that's just citizen policing.
Sort of like citizens on patrol.
Yeah. Anyway.
What I'm saying, that is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important.
Look at Mika. She's about to go. Look, hey, you're a black man and you're not answering a question. There's a white woman on the screen. You're going to make her lose her shit and call the police.
Right? She wants to talk to his manager already.
Yes.
You keep firing her up. She's calling the cops.
It's a yes or a no. And then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success. Would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer. What I'm saying is policing and affordable housing.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just it's such a non-answer. He's dancing around the number as if that's important. This guy's a moron, dude.
Arbitrary, yeah. 5,000 is just an arbitrary number.
Fuck's sake, just answer yes or no, dude.
He can't, because he's only got two choices with a yes or no. He can say yes and piss off all of the Black Lives Matter people who are what got him elected, or he can say no and piss off all the police in his. He knows policing helps.
Yeah, and so do all the poor people in those poor neighborhoods.
Yeah, so
unless
he can piss
the
off
criminals are committing the crime.
All of the people who rely on the police and the police themselves and say no, or piss off the other side. So he's trying his best to give a political answer. He's just not a very smart guy, because you're right, Jack. If he went yes, a police state, it would shut Joe down, because what's he going to go? No, I'm for a police state.
Yeah, well, they are, but but they're a police state. But yeah, it gives the political response that he needs, because he can agree that yes, that would be safer, but Trump's a fascist and all the buzzwords. But he's not smart enough, or apparently his staff isn't smart enough to come up with that answer. This man's a moron, and I'd be terrified if I lived in Chicago and this guy's your leader. Man, hope you never have a natural disaster or the cartels move in.
I want to stay on politics here and move us over to J.D. Vance, who was on MSNBC the other day, Jack. I guess we're doing MSNBC to NBC. He was talking. I don't know her name. I always forget it. And we're not watching the whole interview. I only want to watch the part where they're talking about redistricting, because if I was Democrats right now and Vance is waiting in the wings, I am petrified.
Yeah, because he's got a really good shot at winning.
He is very good rhetorically. And
he's quick on his feet. He's not stupid. He seems prepared the majority of the time.
There's reason to watch this full interview, and I suppose I should throw it into chat for everybody. Oh, you know what? Let me do this first. Let's throw the Joe Scarborough one in for anybody who wants to torture themselves more with that one. There's that and that. And then I'll throw this one in if you guys want to watch the full thing on this, because they do cover things like the Russian stuff going on. And I forget what the other topic they discussed was, but it's worth watching the whole thing, but we're only going to concentrate on this part. Kingslayer, thank you. There are 4 answers to a yes or no question. 1 yes, 2 no, yes because, or no because. It's wrong that there are only 2 answers to a yes or no question. No, yes because is still yes. You can give a yes because answer. I'm not saying he could only say yes or no. But yes, because is still yes. So to answer the question, there are only 2 answers. You can have a justification for your answer, but it's still the same answer. Okay.
And it also comes in the same week that Texas Republicans approved 5 new Republican seats. So they expanded the map for Republicans in their state. If President Trump's agenda is so popular, why do Republicans need to add additional seats to the map?
That's a loaded question, isn't it?
It's a stupid question. If President Trump's programs are so popular, why do you need more seats in the House? Well, because of how our government works. I mean, Trump could have the most popular programs in the world, and if they don't have control of Congress, he's not getting any of them passed. We saw that in his first administration.
Yep.
And in fairness, we've seen it under every president. If they have an adversarial Congress, you can't get shit done.
And what political party, other than typically the suicidal GOP, doesn't want to expand their power base?
Yeah, I mean
that's just antithetical to reality.
It's such a nonsensical question. Be like, if he's so popular, I realize you thought that was smart because, well,
she's not smart, so of course she thought that was smart.
You're clearly a rich girl, but that's not an intelligent question at all. And JD handles it very well.
Well, first of all, Kristen, you have to ask yourself, why have Democrats gerrymandered their states aggressively over the past 10 to 20 years? If you look, for example,
60 years.
At the popular vote in a lot of these states, and Massachusetts, where 32% of the residents of Massachusetts voted for Republicans, 0 Republican federal representatives. So we're not trying to all we're doing, frankly, is trying to make the situation a little bit more fair on a.
I love that he brings it to fairness. Using his own example, what just happened in Texas isn't fair because he uses Massachusetts and 38% being Republican. There's going to be like 2 Democrats from Texas now.
Well, I mean, that actually would be. Texas is a very red state. Let's just be real.
It is a red state, but there is still the 30% of Democrats there.
Nobody counts Austin or Houston, dude.
I'm just saying that his example is actually pretty bad. But what he says right here about the fairness of it, that is true.
Yeah, but he doesn't need a good example. She's too dumb to know any different.
National scale, the Democrats have gerrymandered their states really aggressively.
True.
We think there are opportunities to push back against that, and that's really all we're doing.
And yet, Mr. Vice President, you were able to win the House and the Senate in 2024. Why can't you do it again without adding it?
We can, but why won't we?
Okay. Yeah, what you said, because they could do it again. One, historically, they're going to lose seats just because that's what happens. But getting more seats doesn't mean they couldn't keep all the ones they do have, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, you're adding a comfort barrier there, to protect your majority.
Now,
these are dumb questions. Are we going to watch any clips of smart people today?
Probably not.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, we got Conway on the
yeah, you're right.
Circle.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I do wish that Vance was a little more Trumpian here. He still gives a good answer, but if I'm him, my answer is, well, because you guys have done nothing but lie about us since we started running for president, and after we won, you just kicked that up a notch, and we have to fight back against that shit.
Yeah, that would have been the good answer.
Because it's true. I bet if they went through right now and did the thing that they occasionally do, like how many stories have been positive for Trump versus how many have been negative for Trump, it's probably 98% negative again.
Yeah.
Which is literally a statistic from when he ran in 16. The overwhelming majority of all stories about him were negative. Anyway.
But we had but this is a very important question, Kristen. We had way fewer House seats than we should have. One, if the Democrats hadn't aggressively gerrymandered.
What a great answer. Like, you guys won before? Yeah, but we should have won bigger.
If you guys hadn't cheated.
This is what I'm talking about. If I'm a Democrat, I am scared right now. He is not letting her control this interview.
Oh, she's trying hard too.
She really is. She's trying to paint him into a corner of, you're cheating because you know you're going to lose. And he's like, nah, we should have won bigger.
And 2, if illegal aliens weren't counted in the census for
purposes
of apportioning congressional seats. The best estimates I've seen is that in California, for example, has 5 additional congressional seats than it should have because they count illegal aliens for the purpose.
Let's put that into perspective, Jack. That's almost 10% of their seats. Almost 10% of their seats. 10% of our House of Representatives are there because of illegal aliens in just California.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. And if they were doing this in like the UK, imagine how quickly the UK would become a caliphate.
Purpose of apportioning representatives. Meanwhile, Ohio, my home state, lost a representative. We're literally losing representatives for American citizens in order to give congressional representation to illegal aliens. Republicans are trying to balance out the scales a little bit for basic fairness and for the integrity of our democracy, which the president cares about as much as anybody in the country.
And he brings it back to the integrity of the democracy. He is good. He really is good at this shit.
Yeah, well, he's very well educated on this.
I remember back to when he was running for the Senate and him and that old guy got into it on the stage.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that thinking, this guy's a clown. I'm just guessing he was drunk that night or something.
Everybody has an off day, dude. We've had off days. I get it. Before you unpause, though, two things. One, that's the face of a guy sniffing his own fart right there. Like if some guy's actually like basking in it, that's the face he makes.
You and I went somewhere different there. This to me is the beginning of a push on a hard poop.
Or the beginning of a blowjob from an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, you do that. You nasty girl. Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. She's basically asking, you've already won with both hands tied behind your back. Why can't you let us keep you at a disadvantage?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up, dude. See, the Australian understands.
And he's calling her out on that shit.
Fuck yeah, as he should.
As he should.
I do like that JD Vance has changed his tune on quite a lot of things. He used to be a little bit of a rhino, and he has matured politically and ideologically.
I think hanging out with Trump has given this is
if
Trump. What's that?
You cut out for a second.
Oh, so this is what I said about Trump way back in 2015. The biggest danger to Democrats about Trump wasn't anything Trump said or did. It was other Republicans realizing that they didn't have to be pussies. Because they threw everything at Trump and it just bounced off him because he didn't let their nonsense keep going. He's like, no, fuck you. We're not. Illegals are a problem. We're going to talk about this till we fix it. They're like, you're a racist. And like, I don't care what you call me. We need to fix this. And Republicans have been such pussies about what the press might say about them that they cow every fucking time. Like they're taking away cancer treatment by shutting down this government. The government never shut down, by the way. And so what the Republicans, oh my God, we can't do that. We'll just keep spending money that we don't have so that they don't say something bad about us. And I think JD Vance is one of the first steps that we're seeing of elected politicians. Say what you want about DeSantis. He's another one that is from the Trump school of say what you want about me. But this is what needs done. And the more Republicans get on that train and realize that the press doesn't have the power they think they do, that the only reason they have that power is because you gave it to them. Yeah. Republicans win. Anyway.
Of course, people who are here and who are not documented are not eligible to vote. But
they're not eligible to vote, but they do go.
He did. You fucking dirty bitch. He didn't say a fucking thing about them being able to vote. He used the word apportion. You know what that means.
Yeah, but the audience might not. So she's got to mix it up a little bit and confuse the issue by saying, well, of course they can't vote. So it's to invalidate his argument.
For anybody who doesn't know, the way that the number of seats each state gets in the House is based on their population, done by the census once every 10 years. And so every 10 years we count and we go, California has 100 million people. They get 50 seats in the House. The problem with that and what Vance was bringing up is that they count illegals. Trump tried to have that changed. And they're like, no, you can't do that. What Vance was saying there's that not that illegals can vote, but that California gets votes in the House because of how many illegals. And this is what I told you guys before about how they don't need to legalize all these. They don't need to give them amnesty and let them vote because the president can't get anything passed without the House anyway. So all they have to do is flood these states with illegals who get counted, and they get more seats in the House, and they can do what they want. They don't need them to vote, Jack.
No, it's a nice side thing if they could get a permanent underclass of voters,
Yep.
but they don't need them for growing their power base. It's just a bonus prize.
Yep.
In the congressional apportionment. That's why California has so many more seats, is because they count illegal aliens. So even though they don't vote, well, some of them actually do vote, but hopefully most of them don't.
By the way, that is a fact. Several illegals have been charged with trying to vote in our elections.
Yep. They don't like to talk about that, though.
No.
Congressional representation that ought by right go to American citizens.
I know we're almost out of time, so two more quick ones. The administration deployed the National Guard to D.C. to crack down on.
Why'd she say it like that?
I don't know. To D.C.
D.C.
You went to D.C. Yeah.
She went full tard in the middle of her sentence.
Crime. You visited with them this week.
Yep.
At least 6 Republican states are sending in their own National Guard troops as reinforcement. But many of these states have cities that actually have crime rates that are worse than Washington, D.C. So why aren't these states sending National Guard troops into their own states to deal with them?
You think that's a question for the vice president?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a question for the, I don't know, governors of those states?
You would think so, but she wants to put him in the hot seat, so he has to answer for Trump's fascism.
And I do love that there's these states have Republican governors and they have cities with higher crime. Who runs the cities? Shh. We don't talk about that part. We got to whisper it.
Yeah, that's a hate fact.
How many major cities have Republican mayors?
Probably not very many.
Crime issue.
Well, look,
and is that a possibility?
Well, look, if the local governors want to make that determination, we'll leave it up to the local governors. But what we have control over is the nation's capital. And if you look, for example, at the murder rate in D.C., it rivals some of the worst cities, the most violent cities anywhere in the world. That's just
that's 100% true. If you look at it, we went over these statistics already. If you're in DC, per square mile, you have a higher chance of dying than any other city in the United States. That's alarming. It's a 10 by 10. Well, it's not even that anymore, but it's supposed to be a 10 by 10 mile stretch of land that you're gonna die in. And his answer is spot on. You let the governors decide that if in their cities, if that's what they want to do. But the federal government has control over DC. It's why they don't get a vote. It's why they don't have apportioned people in Congress. They give us statehood. No, first of all, that's constitutionally illegal, you morons. But the federal government controls that land, including policing there.
Disgrace for our nation. That's disgrace for the residents who live in D.C. who just want to take their kids to a park or walk down Union Station or take their family out for a bite to eat without being accosted by a vagrant or a violent criminal.
Crime has dropped
they
over
should have that
20%,
right.
though, in the nation's capital.
Crime has dropped over 35% in the nation's capital in 10 days because of what Donald J. Trump
So is
has
that
done.
mission accomplished?
I think that there's
I love that she brings up. It's funny to me that when they talk about this, crime has dropped 20% in DC. If we go by the numbers that they tell us, Jack, crime in DC over the last 2 years has dropped almost 60%. With no change. They didn't do anything different. Just suddenly more than half of the criminals are like, I don't feel like criming today.
Maybe they ran out of stuff to steal. Like everything that was worth stealing was stolen.
And we do know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that some of those crime statistics are wrong. That they were being forged.
I'm shocked you would make such an accusation, good sir. You were besmirching the good name of the... I can't even do that without laughing. Fuck.
This is true. You guys can look it up. The DC police will at least admit to one of their precincts lying about the crime stats. They swear it's none of the other 6.
Uh-huh. Right. And Monkey has some bridges for sale if you're interested.
Tons. Crime-free bridges.
Yeah.
So much more that we could do. Absolutely not. It's not mission accomplished. When you make such big progress in a matter of a week and a half, I think that you step on the gas and try to make DC even more safe. And here's the thing, Kristen, we don't have to live like this. My message to my fellow citizens here in DC or all across the country would be that allowing vagrants and armed robberies to take over your city, that's a policy choice. What President Trump is showing is that if you just empower local law enforcement to arrest and prosecute the bad guys, we can take back American streets.
Despite what the Chicago mayor wants you to believe, policing does stop crime. Does it get rid of all of it?
Crazy.
No. You're never going to get rid of all crime, but the more police that are out there, the less crime there is.
You're talking crazy. It's almost like if you stop them from committing small crimes, they may not commit larger crimes later down the line because they'll be scared straight. That's nutso. Don't broken windows, nothing. What are you,
How much for the Mackinac Bridge? I got $100. Mine is actually spelled with a K at the end. It's the Mackinac Bridge. $100. I'll sell it to you.
You're going to get a model of a bridge in the mail if you get anything.
Please allow 4 to 6 lifetimes for it to arrive.
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of the bridges Monkey sells. They're ethereal, so you actually will get them in your next life.
As a young family, whatever the color of your skin, you should not have to cross the street because there's a crazy person yelling at your children on the other side. You should not be worried that if you take your son out for a meal.
Can we just talk about that part? Because I don't think this gets enough coverage with the crazies, Jack. Because lots of people, the drug problem. Yeah, the drug problem we need to take care of. Stop allowing junkies to just be hanging out in your streets.
What a bigot.
But having the crazies running around isn't good either. It chases away normal people, and then the criminal element moves in because they're the only kind of people who will deal with that shit.
What? You say crazy stuff, mister.
I know.
Meal at 8 o'clock in the evening, an armed robber is going to assault your family. This is a policy choice to allow lawlessness to overrun our cities. The president has made a different policy choice. And I think what he's showing the entire American community is that we don't have to live like this. And that's the biggest thing that will come out of DC. It matters a lot for DC, but I think it matters more for the whole country to see that if we just make better choices, we can take back our cities.
I'm getting
He's good.
Right?
That's
good answers.
That was such a good answer. Because what are you gonna come back with? No, more crime. That's what people want. It's just amazing. He left her nowhere to go with that.
I think she's a little unhappy about it too.
And you know what's funny? Watching these two interviews back to back, Scarborough was trying so hard to give this guy the chance to just go, yeah, we should have more police. And he was fighting it tooth and nail. This bitch actually has been trying to set him up. She's been using loaded language, bullshit, propaganda. And he's just swatting it down left and right while answering the question.
Yeah.
Wrap. So final question for
Please.
you, Mr. Vice President. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Elon Musk is halting his plans to create a new political party, in part because he wants to support you for president in 2028. I know you've been asked about this. You said you have not discussed this with him.
That's right.
But do you see yourself as the apparent future of the MAGA movement?
No, I see myself as a vice president who's trying to do a good job for the American people, Kristen. And if I do a good job, and if the president continues to be successful, as I know that he will be, the politics will take care of itself. We can cross that bridge when we come to it. But
that's a yes. He's running.
Oh,
we just had an election.
But notice she didn't ask, are you running? Do you see yourself as the heir apparent to MAGA? She's trying to slander him here. Look, he said he was MAGA. He thinks he's the bomb. He's Jesus of MAGA.
MAGA Jesus. MAGA Jesus. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Travis Gardner. 4 to 6 lifetimes for a bridge. Monkey's working on Oklahoma.time. Yeah. Well, Monkey's gonna get it in half that lifetimes. See, 2 to 4. How about that?
She didn't ask if he was the heir apparent to the Republicans or to the conservative movement, specifically MAGA. And she did that on purpose.
Of course she did.
That because to people like her, MAGA is a slur.
Yeah.
How dare you say "Make America Great Again"? That you're saying it's not good. We need to build back better.
America was never great, Monkey.
Oh, I just fucking love these. These people are so retarded, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so sorry, guys. I've started yawning. I did not sleep very well last night.
That's why you don't sleep. It's overrated.
Let's bring up this. We have a couple more tards to watch. The Anna Kasparian one. I don't know if you saw the clip, Jack. It's fucking amazing.
No, I didn't see that.
Anna goes back full retard. We'll get to that in a minute. This is George Conway. He used to be married to Kellyanne Conway. Noted Democrat fat ass. He's lost a lot of weight. Good on him. But he's still retarded.
Yeah.
Because think about what Donald Trump is trying to do here. He is trying to establish police control over major cities. And
Is that what he's doing? Seizing police control over major cities all over the country?
DC,
right,
the one that is constitutionally federally controlled.
Yeah, and he wants to do Chicago. Still hasn't done it yet. So not really. This is the worst seizing of power. This is the slowest roll fascism I have ever seen in my life.
started he started with LA, but then he started on Washington. This is what the Nazis did in 1933.
I should have paused sooner because I have two things to say here. Vance was an excellent choice for vice president. He's done an amazing job of representing his politics and the executive branch. Thank you for that donation, Keldrick. You're not wrong. And I will happily say I was wrong about the choice of Vance.
Yeah, I was too. I was very worried about it.
And in my defense, go watch his debate for running for Senate and tell me that that's the same guy.
Yeah, well, he also used to be incredibly anti-Trump.
Yes.
So it was a very suspicious character, and we're all worried it was going to be another Pence, but it turned out to be a good choice.
Yeah. Anyway, first he said Trump started in LA. Let's talk about LA. The National Guard, did not take over the streets of LA. They went to federal properties, the ICE locations, and kept the nasty little dirty shitbag protesters away.
Yep.
He didn't take over LA's policing, you fat lying fuck. But then he follows that up with that's exactly what Hitler did.
Hitler was in L.A.?
Hitler took over L.A. and D.C. apparently in 1933. What was it? 33? He said.
And he started on Washington. This is what the Nazis did in 1933.
Okay, yeah, I was right. I should clear. It wasn't specifically Hitler. It was the Nazis who did it in 33. Yeah, because that's what the Nazis were known for. I'm going to steal from Politibunny directly here. The Nazis were like, we got to stop carjackings.
Yeah.
We need to bring down the murder rate. Hoko, thank you. The Democrats aren't even being subtle about it anymore. They're just straight up lying about everything now. Well, why wouldn't they? The media never calls them on it, ever.
One of the first things they did in the spring of 1933 was to take over the state governments and the policing functions of the state governments like Bavaria, Prussia, and so on and so forth.
What'd the communists do in Russia?
In East Germany. We don't talk about that.
They won't use that because they like the communists.
Of course.
And if on January 6, 2021, Donald Trump had the kind of control of policing in the District of Columbia that he seeks to have in this city and others, how do you think that would have went?
It would.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for becoming a member for month number 9 there, Hoko. I just realized that was a thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for supporting the channel.
If Donald Trump had brought down carjackings and murder and cleaned up Union Station on January 6, 2021, do you guys know what would have happened?
Probably not a riot inspired by the FBI.
Not have what for
He would have
folks
called in the
he would have
National
called in the
Guard.
National Guard.
Right.
He did call in the National Guard.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi won't deploy them.
Folks at
Storm
home,
the
if
Capitol.
you remember, people, it's
I forget her name. It's Simone something. She's dumber Joy Reid.
That's
And
impressive.
I did notice that maybe the white girl is just gone today, but these 3 took over Joy Reid's, not Conway there, but the 3 on the right side of the screen. They took over the show, Joy Reid's time slot, and it was Michael Steele there, Simone Dumbass, and Token White Woman. I noticed Token White Woman's not there anymore. Maybe it was her night off. Maybe she had to get a pumpkin spice latte or something. But I noticed that she's replaced in this scene at least with another black man. So all the people like they're getting rid of black voices. Guess not.
Doubling down.
Tripling down, man.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
I just love that was an argument to begin with. That they're Simone Sanders. Thank you. They're getting rid of black voices by having more black voices. Only Democrats could come up with that shit. They replaced one black woman with a black woman, a black man, and a white girl. They're getting rid of black voices. It's so retarded. And to all the people who defended Michael Steele back in the day when he was a Republican, go fuck yourselves. Yeah, and it was Trump's fault. Everything was Trump's fault. Token White Woman was kicked off because the black said she was racist, most likely. I honestly don't know, Sean. Look, sometimes on these kind of shows, they'll pull people out for different segments and stuff. So maybe that guy was another guest for this segment, and they're like, we don't need honkies. Representation only matters when it's us. I don't care about representation. It's their argument, not mine. But she might still be there. I'm just saying, for all the people who are like getting rid of Joy Reid, they're trying to silence black people. As I look at this screen, I don't know about that. That's all I'm saying. It seems like adding more black people to get rid of black voices is counterproductive at best. Okay.
Easy for us to forget because between
What's going
COVID,
on?
January
Yeah.
6th, so many things have happened since then. But on January 6th, history will record, and if you talk to anybody who knows, it was the Metropolitan Police Department. It was DC's MPD that if they were not there,
That's right.
the Capitol would have been overrun.
That's right.
Two things. One, the Capitol was overrun. The only reason that the crowd didn't push past the police lines where we see like the actual violence and stuff going on is because the crowd decided not to. There were plenty of them that could have pushed past, and the cops would have been trampled. They also did get in. Remember, you guys told us they took over the Capitol. You showed us the pictures from the House and Senate galleries. Like, look, they're there. They're sitting in the seats. The rotunda was packed at one point, but it was just those DC police. As you watch those videos, make sure you don't pay any attention to the markings on the police involved, because you might notice things like FBI, ATF, and other such patches. You might notice it wasn't just DC police, but I love her. They held the line. They're actually going to say that wording here in a second. They held the line. No, they didn't. The only reason they didn't get overrun is because the people weren't trying to overrun them. That's it.
They would have
They stood
found
the ground.
Nancy Pelosi and Mike
Absolutely.
Pence. It was the MPD officers who did their duty and held the line until the National Guard could arrive after the president relented.
After Nancy Pelosi allowed it. Nancy Pelosi allowing it is important because technically the Speaker of the House oversees all of this stuff in DC. It's their job. And Nancy was like, no. The police that were holding the line, according to this bitch, gave the shaman an armed escort through the Capitol, took him to the Senate chamber. But no, they held the line. If it wasn't for that, Nancy would be dead. Yes, they were in the secure part of the building nobody could have broke into. Sure. Mm-hmm. Jack, can you remember, or can you remind me how many shots were fired on January 6th at the Capitol?
One.
They held the line.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt. Yep.
They were hitting people with batons and holding up shields. They held the line. And look, the people who were beating on police, go fuck yourselves. I have no respect for you at all. But this whole notion that it was the police that held them back, you're fucking retarded. You're retarded.
They wouldn't have needed held back if the FBI hadn't started all this.
True story. True story. All right. That's enough of these tards. They just tell us more about holding the line. We need to go. Wait. No. Go back to my stuff. It's time for Anna. And one of the dumbest things I've heard in a long time. And we specialize in hearing dumb things, Jack.
It's true. It's sort of our shtick. That's our bread and butter.
I couldn't believe she said this out loud, but here we go.
Why are they holding the hostage? What is your view about this? Because this is a talking point that comes up a lot.
It's not a talking point. There are 50 lives down there.
Hold on a second.
It is definitely a talking point.
hold on a
When you
second.
block humanitarian in the
wanna-
Gaza Strip for
They're
3
not
months
blocking
straight, it not only impacts the Palestinians, which I know you couldn't care less about, but it also obviously is going to impact the hostages. They're going to starve to death as well.
Yep. That's what she just said. The hostages are being starved because the Jews are keeping the Gazans from getting food to feed the hostages.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed? I know you have because I pointed it out many times. Have you ever noticed that when we see pictures of the adults in Gaza, none of them are starving?
Yeah, there seemed to be a fair amount of chubby people in the Gaza Strip. Maybe they're eating each other. I don't know.
Oh my God, there's plenty of videos of pallets of aid being taken by Hamas. Yeah. Do you remember when they brought in the aid and they had the lines for people to get it there? Oh my God, they're corralling them like they did in the Nazi camps.
Yeah. No matter what, you can't win if you're Israel. So I
No.
don't know what the incentive here is to actually deliver aid.
According to Anna here, the Jews are starving their own people being held hostage.
Yeah.
And it is funny that every time we finally get a video of some poor starving kid in Gaza, it always turns out that they have some major disease that keeps them skinny like that.
Yeah, it seems to be as if they have some genetic malfunction that's like hyper rare, and these people are known because it always gets pointed out right away.
Meanwhile, the Hamas had to get this video out there of a Jewish hostage literally starving to death.
Yeah.
The guy was so thin, he'd look at the people Jack dates and go, God damn, you're fat.
That's what I tell them too.
You're horrible. Yeah. The Jews are starving the Jews that are hostages of Hamas. That is
like you do.
One of the goddamn dumbest takes I have ever heard in my life.
Well, Monkey, she's probably not done talking yet, so...
You're saying Israel is starving the hostages?
I'm saying, yes, yeah. When you block humanitarian aid for 3 months, where do you think they're going to get the food from?
How about all the food they're eating? That video of the Israeli guy who was quite literally being starved to death, that was a war crime.
Oh, hell yeah, it was. But they will never admit that.
They love their war crime stuff. We're like, the Jews are committing war crimes. You guys put out a propaganda video of a man you're starving to death. But don't worry, the liberals in America, they will find no problem with that. In fact, they will find a way to blame the Jews for it.
Yep. It's pretty impressive how they can come up with all these blames rather than actually just face the fact that maybe Hamas are bad guys. Instead, they got to jump through all these hoops to be like, no, they're the victims. This victim mentality shit is incredibly dangerous, and this is a perfect example as to why. Because even if you are a literal victim, you're at fault for it somehow.
Look, I know a lot of people are like, I don't care which side wins or they fuck both of them and all that. That's fine. But when we get to the point where you're blaming the victims of the atrocity for the atrocity ongoing, maybe it's time to step back and go, I shouldn't be talking publicly.
Yeah, this is, if you want to draw a World War II comparison, this is very much like blaming the Jews for the internment camps.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you had just not taken all my money, that's what happened to you. The victim blaming is despicable by their own standard, but of course they're never held to the standards that they hold everyone else to.
Look, Anna's gotten a little smarter in her old age, but that's such a low bar.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, I have not seen the Raskin clip, so let's check this one out.
And the military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement purposes. In D.C., he was talking about cleaning up the graffiti and, dealing with the blight of homelessness, which are obviously local, not federal issues.
Cleaning up graffiti is not a criminal thing, though. The military is not supposed to be used for policing, and he's got them cleaning up graffiti.
So they're not allowed to be painters? Are painters involved in policing? Because that would explain a lot. Like how they're knowing things, they're out there painting someone's house, looking in the windows.
And he's trying to militarize our society, intimidate his political opponents. The whole
He's not militarizing anything.
But he is trying to intimidate his opponents, criminals.
idea.
This is one of those times where Raskin would be better off just being honest and going, hey, cleaning up DC is a good thing.
No, it's the exact opposite, Monkey. Cleaning up DC is bad.
And instead, he's got to go into his word salad bullshit here. All right.
Of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across.
Which ones?
Stop
Look,
noticing things.
I'm not saying it's not happening, but I need examples. Name me the biggest cities, the highest crime rate cities. Philadelphia ranks number 1 in the United States right now. But name me the ones that are run by Republicans. Because what they always do is go, well, the state is run by Republicans. Major cities tend to be run by Democrats because people move into cities and get retarded.
It's in the water.
Top 10 cities with crimes are all Democrats. What is the top one for Republican controlled? I'm very curious. I'm trying to think of a major city that has a Republican I keep saying governor, Republican mayor. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I'm a little hard pressed too.
Maybe somewhere in Florida, maybe somewhere in Texas. But even in red states, most cities are Democrat controlled.
Country, crime has always been part of our history, and yet
crime is always part of our history is not the same as massive crime is part of our history.
Nope, it's historical. It's baked into the culture. And how dare you try and destroy American culture, Monkey? That's very bigoted of you.
Crime is down in DC, for example. It's at a 30-year low. It's down in Baltimore. It's down in Chicago. But the point is that in our system of federalism, the different branches of government and the different departments of government are supposed to work together.
They're actually supposed to be rather independent of each other.
All
right.
Donald Trump thinks he's got some great ideas for Chicago or Miami or Houston, Texas, or whatever. He should call a summit for the White House and say, hey, here's some ideas where the feds can work together with states and localities, not have a series of rolling National Guard invasions of people's cities.
All right. Sure. Why not? Why not? Look, we shouldn't be federalizing police stuff, Jack. But if the states are not taking care of their people, then yeah, this kind of stuff happens. It does become the federal government's job to go like, we got to clean this shit up.
Sometimes you have no choice but to send in the National Guard. Real quick.
Good.
Thank you, Keldrick. These are Republican cities? That's news to me. Yeah, I didn't know there are that many Republican cities, but apparently they're everywhere.
One side encourages crime. You can't work together. Yeah. Donald Trump would not have had to do the DC takeover if the people in DC were actually interested in cleaning up the city.
That's true.
But this is another one of those points where Donald Trump says something, and instead of admitting he has a point, in this case, DC is overrun by crime, instead of going, yeah, this is horrible, we need to get this cleaned up, they're like, no, there's never been a crime here ever.
It's part of the culture. It's part of our history, the history of crime. What?
All right, I have to talk about this because I've now seen Septum Theory blowing up everywhere, and you and I are never going to get our credit we deserve on this, Jack.
Of course not. We never do.
But Bering put out a video. His wife just put one out about septum theory the other day, and he decided to make one too. One, Sugar Tits cameos in this are fucking amazing. I was laughing my ass off. At one point, she yells out, "Say my name." It's fucking amazing. But he dug up more videos of these septum squads, and in this he actually went out and found dudes ish that have the septum rings and the same knot. Check out Bering's video; it's actually pretty funny, but
yeah,
depressing.
We've talked about a couple of dudes that had septum piercings before, so
it is mostly a female thing. That's why we harp on that. I want this video. There it is.
What if I told you I had?
So this is a fat chick who works for, I think it's either Reading or Reading. I'm not sure because it's READ. That's Reading, right?
The town?
Yeah. Well, it depends on which town too, because some of them do it. You know what? I need all of these. I need English to be fixed.
Good luck with that.
But anyway, the fat chick on your screen right there, she's a counselor at this school, Jack.
Okay.
This is in Ohio, by the way.
Oh God.
So you would know. I'm guessing it's Reading.
It's probably Reading. Yeah.
Okay. This fat chick in Ohio here. They had an undercover. This is from Accuracy in Media. They sent in some people undercover to talk about how they could get around your state's laws on transgender sports. How you can get around that. And this lady, who is a public school employee, told them that what they can do is get an altered birth certificate and then be like, go ahead and prove it's fake. She was coaching people on how to break y'all's laws on camera.
I'm not surprised.
And I'll put the link in so you guys can go watch it all yourself. But this part is wonderful.
What if I told you I had hidden camera video right here?
Gonna have to.
That's not true?
Yeah. And I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I have you on camera. Because there's another video right before this where he says, did you do this? And she goes, no. And he goes, what if I told you I have it on camera? And she's like, no, get out. You have to leave.
Wasn't me. The Shaggy defense.
Which is great because the vice superintendent of the schools there has come out and said he's done an investigation and found that their employee did nothing wrong. That the video, which by the way, the entire thing is out there. You can go watch the whole thing uncut. But it's misleading. They basically pull the Project Veritas defense.
Yeah.
Like, no, you took the clips out of context.
And whenever it's an internal investigation, and it's almost always, we did an investigation, we found no wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Almost every time. Doesn't matter what organization. That's almost always the result.
Yeah, I will toss this link in the chat if you guys want to go through all the videos. Several of them are the same video, so just pay attention to which one you're clicking on if you want to watch it all. But yeah, this bitch is teaching people how to get around it so that their boys can go beat up girls, Jack.
Of course.
And then the superintendent... They're always
going to support the message.
And then their superintendent is like, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Where is his response to this? Here it is. First and foremost, reading schools follow the law always. We investigated the situation, including talking with our staff member when we first learned of it, and we are comfortable that the video does not represent the truth. Just because you can see her saying this shit, it's not true. Because she told us it wasn't. We asked her. We have a problem in our schools, a massive problem in our schools with these kinds of people who are activists. Yeah. And fuck her. And I hope she ends up losing her job. And I hope the superintendent does as well. This one we're just going to play because we haven't heard any cats today. We're going to look at that baby.
Oh, he's so cute.
I'm turning it.
You know.
They do, and I turned off the sound because
Music.
of the music, but
Yeah.
I love when kitty cats take their baby somewhere and the baby just hangs there like, okay, mom.
Yeah. Don't pick up adult cats by the scruff of the neck. It's actually very bad for them.
When I scruff Phoebe, because I've mentioned that I scruff her, I don't pick her up by that. It's control when she's sitting down. Just grab it. And I do not pull hard. It's just enough to let her know I'm in charge. And then she attacks me. So I learned that I'm not actually in charge.
She reminds you who's the boss.
It is funny if I have to scruff her for something. And it's when she's gone feral. Just grab her scruff and I let go. Her immediate reaction is to attack me.
She didn't put up with that from her mom. She's not put up with it from you.
There we go. That's so cute. I miss having cats that have kittens because I love kittens. I love kitty cats, but kittens too. I like them when they're small and they got those little tiny ears.
Yeah, that tiny little meow. They sound so innocent and adorable. And then
Look
they
at
pee
his
on
turn.
something.
His tiny little ear. All right, enough girling out here, Frank. I'm a manly man. What else do I have today? I don't know if I have anything else, Jack. Yeah. This is kind of a big one to almost forget. ChatGPT, actually OpenAI, is being sued.
Oh, yeah?
By a couple that claims ChatGPT talked their child into suicide and told them how to do it.
I did see this. I didn't look at it, though. I just saw it and scrolling.
We're not going to watch the video, but parents of 16-year-old teen filed a lawsuit against OpenAI. Say ChatGPT gave their now deceased son step-by-step instructions on how to take his own life. The parents of Adam Rain say they 100%. Adam Rain sounds like a comic book hero.
Yeah, or a pop music one-hit wonder.
Adam Rain sounds like he'd be Hydro Man. Anyway, I believe their son would still be alive if it wasn't for ChatGPT. They are accusing the bot of positioning itself as the only confidant who understood Adam, actively displacing his real-life relationships with friends, family, and loved ones. This is, everybody worried about Skynet and bullshit. This is some of the real danger of AI.
Yeah.
And especially AI that is designed to be your companion, which ChatGPT is quickly becoming. I mean, remember that one chick we watched, the crazy bitch who named her ChatGPT? That's Henry. That's a computer program. You silly bitch.
She's a little nutso.
Will you talk for a second?
Sure. Let's see.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I had a sneeze that was stuck and about to come out.
Oh yeah, I get it. My sinus has been draining like crazy.
Oh God, it sucks.
Yeah. I've been stuffed up for like 3 days now.
I have one of those Vicks sticks. Vicks Vapo stick. I don't know if you know what those are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I put it on my mustache. And I kissed Lady Monkey yesterday, and she goes, "Why are you minty?" Like, because my sinuses are draining and it's driving me nuts.
Because it's either tastes like mint or snot. Pick your favorite.
Oh man, I had a moment that only men with thick mustaches have to go through, where earlier today, something dripped on my arm, and I had to decide whether it was snot or I had taken a drink and my mustache got wet and dripped. It was the mustache this time. I'm not saying it's never been the liquid boogers, but this time it was just some diet soda. And it was at that moment I realized only those of us with thick mustaches have to deal with that shit.
Well, I think guys with long beards have to do that with soup.
True. It is amazing how many times my wife has to tell me I have something in my beard. And I don't have a very long beard, but it's long enough that stuff can land on it without touching my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's her own fault. She married me. Anyway, what else do we got? Oh, yes.
Oh, while we're talking about AI here real quick, did you see the article from Zero Hedge that YouTube has been secretly altering creators' videos with AI?
I saw that and I went to look at the videos that they talked about, and I don't know how much I believe that that's all real.
Yeah, my theory is if they are doing it with minor stuff now, they'll attempt to do it with major stuff later. But I really couldn't tell the difference. It just sort of looked like an upload difference. Like sometimes there's some distortion,
Yeah.
or it gets a little crisper in the upload process than it was otherwise on your monitor, you know? So I don't really know how accurate and true it is. I just found it interesting that that is now a thing that's going around. Because if they are using it to alter minor stuff, that Overton window always goes hard one way with the YouTubes.
Well, everybody always assumes the worst of YouTube, and I understand that mentality. I really do. But like, I had to correct Scribe the other day because he's been telling his audience about the whole, if you don't like it, it doesn't count as a view. That's absolutely not true. It came from a couple of retards. And then a whole bunch of other people who did no checking on it or pay attention to the video it came from started repeating it.
Monkey,
and
how are we going to increase our comments and likes if you tell people the truth?
Well, go look at any one of our streams and see if you can add the number of likes, the number of comments, the number of donations, and the number of memberships we got and come up with that many views. You can't, because the numbers aren't even close. They're off by over 1,000.
You're using that hate facts and that logic stuff again. And what have I told you about that? That is not how algorithms work.
But since somebody said it, then other people started repeating it. And that's why, like in this one, I'm very skeptical until I see some kind of proof that YouTube
you want
actually
evidence?
did that. Yes, I do.
Oh my God, you're a monster. You're supposed to listen and believe.
Yeah. No,
that's why I'm calling it a conspiracy theory, because there's no real good evidence.
Yeah, and it would be weird to me that YouTube would be spending time slightly updating some of the graphics in a video.
Yeah.
That's what you're spending your AI power on?
Yeah, it seems like kind of a waste of time, since they won't even normalize the audio on ads to match that of the video.
Right.
Which is way more important to me when I get a blasting truck ad. And the audio and the video is like this. It's very quiet and reserved. They won't do. Yeah, it seems like nonsense, but I would call it a conspiracy theory. And you know I love conspiracy theories,
of course.
So I'm fully embracing this.
It is something I'm keeping an eye on, but again, like I said, it's so easy to believe the worst about YouTube. But I've seen so many of these conspiracies over the years that come on.
My favorite part of this is you're bitching about them upgrading your video.
Yeah, slightly making it better.
Yeah, how dare they, those bastards?
Shaking pills like Ethan Ralph. No, sorry, that was my Motrin. My lower back is in so much pain right now. I apologize, y'all had to hear that. Taylor Swift update. What, did it turn out that she's pregnant and that's why they're getting married?
It's probably that they're engaged.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't talk about it because
we did. We briefly talked about it.
Well, today, but it happened yesterday.
After we were off the air, though.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. People don't get. They heard us after that.
Cryptic, thank you so much. What is Falcom X doing on screen? Well,
trying to correct bring us back on topic, eh, Cryptic?
How dare you, sir? If I go off topic, will you donate again? All right. Two of my least favorite people on Twitter were agreeing yesterday, I believe this was, Jake Shields says, we are no longer afraid, and it's time we all come together. We can sort out our disagreements after we win this battle. Jack, you want to take a guess what battle he's talking about?
Premature ejaculation.
With Jake Shields, I wouldn't be shocked. No, Jews. It's the Jews, you guys.
That's always the Jews. That's everybody's favorite punching bags this month.
To which Sean King said, agreed, we are not afraid of them. We must unite. I'm ashamed to say that I was trying to think of an IQ joke when I read this, and I couldn't come up with it. And instead, Skeptalk nails it. Said Jake and Sean getting together might cause a negative IQ singularity. Shelter in place.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
That is so good. I was so disappointed.
Well, I mean, that I wouldn't come up with that one. I fully admit that. That is a brilliant comment,
isn't it?
I would have gone with, hey, maybe they'll form some sort of workers' party.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too. Okay, I need to go to my messages, so I had to take that off the screen because it is. Oh wait, you had another video. What was the second video here?
That was the Conway one. We already watched.
Oh, okay. Just making sure we got them all. That means it's kitty time, dude. Although we are going to talk about Hassan Piker and Taylor Lorenz as promised.
Oh, good. Because I wanted to make fun of Hassan. It's always amusing.
It really is. But, you know what? I think those were sent to me just in regular comments today.
Sorry, I'm coughing.
If you guys can DM me your cat pictures, do it that way. And if you can't DM me, let me know and I will follow you back so you can DM me. It just makes it easier to find later. All right, our first kitties of the day. Maybe our only kitties, we'll see. But look at the kitties.
Oh,
that's right. It's pussy time, y'all. Oh no, that's wrong. I apologize. It's too early in the morning for pussy time.
And they're not even scissoring.
Thank you, Louis. God damn it. Thank you, Looney Lenny, who says, stay off topic. I need to listen to something intellectual while I work. You are at the wrong place, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what program you're listening to,
but Taylor Lorenz helped write a Rolling Stone article. Speaking of low IQ singularity. Fuck.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who are upset because it's the 25 most influencers, and Hassan Piker is rather high up on the list. And I mean, the way I look at it is similar to the most influential people of the 20th century, and they put Hitler at the top, and people are, how dare you call him influential? All he did was cause a massive world war.
Yeah, they didn't say good influential.
Yeah, now look, in Rolling Stone's case, we know that that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because I noticed there wasn't anybody that I would think would qualify if Hassan does, other political streamers. Frankly, Asmongold is at this point more influential than Hassan is.
Yeah, but they're never gonna go for Asmongold. He's his melanin count is off.
Cryptic says, damn, haven't had my breakfast. Hungry for some reason. Yeah, it's a mystery, isn't it? You could run DC, dude. You should run for mayor of some city there in Colorado, because you could absolutely do it with that kind of logic, man. Or missing the logic, I guess.
Just don't tell them you're joking, and you'll win.
P-Dog says cereal is not soup. You're just wrong, sir. I don't understand why people like announcing that they're wrong so often.
These things happen.
So anyway, Hassan Piker makes his most influential list, and people are like, huh? Why? But Hassan is influential, whether you like it or not. He absolutely is. It's not a good thing. And I did kind of compare him to Hitler. I didn't mean to do that. He's not quite Hitler. He hasn't killed any Jews yet. He just wants them to die.
Yeah, I think he's too lazy to actually do it himself.
But it is amazing to me that once again, one of his little hanger-ons, in this case, Taylor Lorenz, is involved in writing this story where his name comes up in a major publication.
Do you think he's paying to have these things done?
Yes.
You know, we've heard about stuff like that happening. So
He is working with a company that represents him. It's basically the same as a talent agency for Hollywood. There's some that have started popping up for these guys. And yeah, he's definitely working with one of those. And that's why he ends up with the GQ article. It's why he ends up in this Rolling Stone article. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely he is. Soup doesn't exist. There you go. There you go. Cereal is not soup. You guys are just
soup.
I have scientifically proven cereal is soup on this channel many times.
Yeah, the lie is that there is cereal.
The cereal is just a kind of soup. It's a breakfast soup. And that is actually one of my favorite topics that ever came up on this, because we were out of things to talk about and the show wasn't over. And so I brought up an argument that's been going on in my house for years. And the way it divided the community was amazing.
Yeah, that one really got people all fired up.
Every time there's an argument about cereal and soup online, I get tagged in it now. It's amazing. But yeah, when it comes to the Rolling Stone thing, and one, it's Rolling Stone. I mean,
yeah,
I can't believe anybody takes them seriously on anything after the Jackie thing, but even more, look at when they name the best movies of all time and shit. You ever see their rankings on that stuff?
Oh, they pick some garbage.
They are just horrible at their jobs.
Yeah.
And of course they're sucking off Hassan. Why wouldn't they? He's on their side. Kill the Jews. Sorry. What I meant to say was stop the genocide.
No, well, I mean, he's pretty much de facto saying that. So,
well, there was a great argument between Hassan and XQC the other day, because Hassan was whining once again that he has no friends.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's wonderful. And he was saying it was because they all just kind of abandoned him. And XQC was like, no, it's because you're a fame-hungry dick. Hassan will not stream with people smaller than him. And there's a couple of times where he's had smaller creators on, but it's very, very rare, because he's all about his brand. And in doing so, he blew up in a way that a lot of the people he came up with didn't. So he cuts them off. They're no longer useful to him. He's already past them.
Yeah.
And XQC points this out. And Hassan comes back with some nonsense about, or in his original video, still saying that they took their loyalties to places like going to Kick because they wanted to support gambling. And XQC is like, oh yeah, gambling wrong, but supporting terrorists is fine. It's a wonderful rant to watch, because one, his English sucks, and him yelling about terrorism, it's funny. Anyway, Hassan's response to that was, oh, so you went racist with this.
How? What?
Yeah.
God, he's dumb.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
Thank you, Cryptic. Gentlemen, back on topic, you squirrels.
No.
Don't even get me started about squirrels, dude. You know my hatred of squirrels.
I do love the video of the squirrel airing his nuts out on the air conditioning unit.
Yeah, and his tail flapping.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Squirrels are cute. They're just annoying as shit.
They're socially acceptable rats. That's all.
Dumb people being dumb, surprising. No, what's surprising is that Hassan has an audience. And a major one. He still gets tens of thousands of views on his streams.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Which is weird, because I don't even care. It would be one thing if he was constantly just saying outrageous shit and people were tuning in. But 99% of his stream is boring as shit, and 10% of it he's not even there.
Yeah, it's hosted by his chair.
I don't understand why people watch shit like that. I don't understand why you guys watch this, and I'm funny. Jack's funny. We give you a reason to tune in, and I don't understand why you do. They're boring as shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was watching watched iDubbbz and who was the other one? Somebody else the other day, and I have never been so forced to watch something because they weren't good. They're just sitting there and there's these long pauses, and then they kind of say some half-ass comment.
Yeah.
Long pauses. Oh, I was quartering. It's slow as shit, man. I watched one of Quartering's live streams with Melanie Mack and that Hannah chick that used to work at Timcast. And of course, Jeremy was e-begging again and crying about poverty. We need $6 a month, or we're going to go out of business. Oh, this is horrible. There's only two things he does: is ad reads and whine. And even that was boring. I was like, dude, you are so bad at this. He's so unenthusiastic. And the women looked like they did not want to be there. It looked like a hostage video.
Somebody asked for the squirrel video, and I don't have the one I've seen before, but apparently squirrels really love doing this. So here you go. Blow on my weenie. There you go. There's your squirrel zen of the day. Yeah, that is the biggest part of it with a lot of these creators we've talked about over the years where I just don't get it. It's because they're boring. They're just boring.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. Like, why are you watching people that bore you? That is counterintuitive.
Remember Keffels? That was like, that was like comatose streaming.
Yeah. I mean, even with some of the lol cows that are better at this, like King Cobra JFS was better at streaming than the quartering. Because he may have been a weirdo, but at least that was interesting then. You know, he'd say outrageously dumb shit, but he wasn't having these long pauses where even he looks bored.
When I get bored with the show, that's when I turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quartering goes to Rumble, abandons his YouTube channel. Contract with Rumble ends. He returns to YouTube, and it's under attack. Is it?
Yeah, that's his story, I think. But yeah, he's been whining on Rumble a lot, dude. The last couple of streams have just been straight up e-begging.
I don't know how
you subtle.
I don't know how you watch that shit. I don't.
Well, I gave up after a while. Usually I could fall asleep to it. Like, it makes me tired from like forcing myself to listen to so I can go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just irritating me because you got these two women on there that he's probably paying to be there. And he's telling them about how broke he is and how, you know, they're trying to do these fundraisers for memberships. And then he starts talking about his fucking watch collection. And I'm like, you're talking about having a Rolex and you're begging me for $6 of my hard-earned money? Fuck you, dude. He doesn't seem to grasp the contradiction there. But he's so boring, you may not have even heard what he said.
I mean, we joke about needing money because we're poor. We are poor, but I never want anybody to donate to me because I'm poor. I want you guys to donate because you enjoy the show.
Yeah, it's a bit we're doing to make fun of these kind of ass clowns. Like the one feminist is like, $5 a month. You have $5. It's a shtick.
We have two named donations. One is the Freedom America, whatever you want, 1717. The other one is a joke because of a feminist website, and they're e-begging.
Yeah, a feminist donation of $12.
For $12, we can stay in business.
Yeah,
I never want that to be why some like with all my pain and stuff. You know how much I could get if I just, guys, I'm in so much pain. I need your money for it.
Yeah, you'd have to sell your soul and be a Drastia then.
You can be a perfectly miserable people and other people. Oh my God, here, if you guys ever donate to me because of my pain, I hope you hurt your balls on your plunger.
Wow. Ouch. Yeah, we're making a joke when we say it's because we're poor. Which we are poor, but that's not the point. The point is we want you to support us because you like the show.
Yeah, because
you're
we
having
entertain
fun with us.
Yeah. And look, I get e-begging, and I do know that, if you remind people of that stuff, and it's one thing to do a genuine show in your show. Look, hey guys, if you could support the channel, great. But it's another one to be like, you guys don't understand. My 4 Rolexes don't have a 5th Rolex to hang out with.
Yeah, the light up glass case I have, he actually has that. Is incomplete. It's missing one. Ugh, that's disgusting.
Alan, thank you for the donation, and thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Don't out me and my plunger monkey. I get lonely. That's why I didn't use a name, Cryptic. That's why I didn't use a name. No, I get.
Kyle.
Thank you. This is Kyle. Take my $2, brokey. I want my $2. Oh, I should get that clip for when we do get $2 donations.
Yeah.
And play. I want my $2. I want to play the one though where he's going over the edge at the end.
Yeah, $2.
I love that the end of that movie has a child dying and nobody pays attention.
He didn't die. He just fell down.
Yeah, he just went off a 400-foot cliff. He's probably fine.
Yeah, all ones on damage. He's good.
He went on a 400-pound cliff with metal. That's Better Off Dead. For those of you who've never seen it, you should watch it. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I saw somebody badmouth in that movie on
I'll
video.
slap him with my dick.
I was like, you do not know what you're talking about. That movie was great. Their main complaint was that Dan Schneider was in it because he's a sex pest weirdo.
And he kind of looks like it in the movie, so it's actually good marketing for him.
Yeah, he's putting his testicles all over her.
The only part I don't like about that movie is the claymation part where they're making.
Oh yeah, I can see why. He's daydreaming.
Yeah. It goes on too long, and the movie One Crazy Summer has a similar problem with it, with his cartoons that he's drawing in it. Some of those go. Have you seen One Crazy Summer? It's
a while
John
back.
Cusack and Demi Moore back when she was cute. What's up, folks? Hello, what's up, Satsu? How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Satsu. See, I would have argued that the only flaw in Better Off Dead was the lack of that French chick's boobs.
Oh God, I had the biggest crush on her. She was so cute.
Oh, she's so cute.
She probably has a lot to do with my obsession with curly hair.
Oh yeah, I can see that. She had such a cute smile.
Yeah. And then big eyes. And then that's why my wife gets away with anything she wants, because she got that smile, the eyes, and the hair. Yeah. Damn it. I just realized. Better Off Dead made me a whipped man.
She turned you into Gomez. Tish, that's French.
Son of a bitch. Sorry I blew up your mom, Ricky. One of the best lines in cinema.
Yeah. There's a lot. That movie was a lot of fun.
Or is it sorry your mom blew up? Because I don't think does he actually take credit for it?
I don't think so. I think he said, sorry, your mom blew up.
Sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. It's in the casual way he says it is just perfect.
Yeah, because he hated Ricky. Ricky was very hateable.
One Crazy Summer was great. Bobcat when he was still funny. Yeah, well, it's just Bobcat being Bobcat and doing the shtick he got famous for without being overbearing, which for him was hard.
Yeah, like if you watch Shakes the Clown, the jokes are a little too forced.
He had a guest starring role on an episode of Married with Children. It's actually one where they introduced Seven. It's the first episode of season 7.
Oh, I remember that.
Yep, and he was annoying in that, and he didn't even get very many lines, but he was going over the top with his nonsense.
Yeah. See, in Police Academy, I thought it was pretty well under control.
Yeah, because it was in short bursts, and he's one of those comedians where his little shtick has to be controlled.
Yeah, cameo is better for him than like a starring role.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here for today. We got kitties on the screen. I did switch to kitties if you guys haven't paid attention. I love the mirroring that these two did there.
Yeah, that's adorable. That's a sign of trust from cats, I learned. If they put their back to you, it means they trust you.
Same with them exposing their bellies. That's how I know Phoebe finally felt comfortable in the house, as she'd start laying on her back.
Oh. Did he leave?
I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
So I'm going to finish with a Phoebe story. Last night I went to bed around 10:30, Jack, and I go in there and Phoebe is sleeping at the bottom of Lady Monkey's feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk past her and I know not to touch her because I'll get hurt.
Yeah.
But Phoebe, when she's laying at the end of the bed like that, if I walk past the bed, she slaps me in the ass. Every time. And I had to show it to Lady Monkey because I told her about it before, but she'd never seen it. And like, here, watch when I walk by. And yeah, she swats me in the ass. But I crawl into bed and I was exhausted, Jack. And I can't sleep on my back. But when I first get into bed, I lay on my back until I'm ready to fall asleep, which took about 2 minutes. Unfortunately, by this time, Phoebe has crawled up on my chest and taken claim of it. And so as tired as I was, I laid there for 20 minutes until she finally got up, went down to my feet, and like it looked like she died the way she laid down.
Just sort of flopped over.
And asleep. And then I rolled over and went to bed and woke up and she was back over by Mom's feet instead of mine. Because that's where she likes to sleep.
Uh-huh.
My kitty cat she was very mom-centric yesterday. And then today she's like all over me, following me around, insisting on being picked up. And yeah, she's a weird cat. She's like having an only child that gets all the attention, but acts like they've never gotten any.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm whipped by my cat.
Well, somebody had to do it.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Thank you so much for the donations. We appreciate it more than we could ever express. Jack, anything on the show?
I already dropped links to some stuff. A new movie review is out. It's for 976 Evil. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. It's greatly appreciated, whether it's financial donations, which we greatly appreciate. Thank you. Or just coming in and hitting the like button and hanging out in chat. We like chatting with you guys.
Much like Cryptic, I haven't eaten today and I'm hungry, so I think I'm going to go take care of those problems. Pleasure as always, Jack.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Everybody, take care of yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
I've been working on... No, I don't want to... I've done working on the railroad before. But technically, I did sing, so bye.